Hello, Aries. Welcome. Take a seat and relax. There's nothing you need to do in this present moment except to relax and enjoy your reading. And to start your reading off, Aries, we have card number 10. This is the card about knowing your place in the universe, right? A lot of the times that why we busy ourselves up, right? Why we do so many things and we don't sit still. I don't know. I don't know. I think this is a problem with human beings in general, is that they don't really know their place in the universe. So, you know, this is like being somewhere and then thinking you should be somewhere else. You know, this is not loving your job, not thinking, you know, hating your job every day you go to work and you hate it because that's not your place in the universe. You know, we all have a place in the universe, and sometimes we feel like we don't have a place in the universe, and we should, you know, just hide up in a little ball in a cave somewhere and just be exalted from the universe. But no, we all have a place in the universe. If you are alive, that means that you're alive for a reason. That's literally the universe saying, hey, there's a place for you here. Okay, so this is about being so stressed out. It's usually about jobs, right? But it's about being in like a room, you know, and then when you are stuck in that room for so long, when you are spending most of your time in that one room, you know, that becomes your universe, you know, and your universe shrinks down to that room. So when things are going wrong in that room, well, that means things are going wrong in the universe, right? Even though if things are going wrong in that room, we can just step out of that room, right? And then look around and be like, whoa, there's so much more to the universe than that room, right? Sure, everything is going wrong in that room, but that room is such a tiny spot in this whole universe, right? And so when you step outside that room, you know, your universe becomes bigger and your stresses become smaller. And, you know, to know your place in the universe, you got to look around sometimes. You know, we can't just make it up in our head. We got to just look around, see where you are, see what's going on. I mean, there's trees and stuff. How cool is that? That trees belong in the universe. Isn't that dope? And especially here on Earth, you know, because trees apparently, like in all of the universe, trees, wood is very rare. Wood is one of the rarest things, you know. We hype up diamonds here on Earth and everything. We hype up all of these shiny rocks, you know. But those are everywhere. We hype up gold, you know. We hype up metals, but those are everywhere in the universe. Wood. Now, wood is a rare commodity. Wood is very rare in the universe, and apparently Earth is literally one of the only spot in the universe that has wood on it. How cool is that? See, but we don't think about that when we're just thinking about work and when our universe is just a tiny little room, you know, but we step outside and there's so much more to the universe, so much we don't know, so much to explore, so many good things out in the universe. And we're over here stuck in a tiny room with our humanly stresses that we pretty basically just made up. So go outside. It's time to go outside. It's time to know your place. It's time in the universe, you know, it's time to look at the nature. Go out in the nature, you know, make your universe a little bit bigger so that your stresses become a little bit smaller. Yup. Okay, so I really hope that card hooked you, because these two are saying the exact same thing. 5 of Wands. Look at that. They're all fighting with each other, right? This feels like each of these 5 people have their own dream, and for their own dream to be accomplished, they need to bring down these other 4 people. That's what it feels like, but it's not really that way, right? That's what it feels like in this card alone, all right, without looking at the rest of the reading. Just like we were, you know, imagine this is the universe right here, right? Just like we were narrowing down our universe to a singular room, narrowing down this reading to a singular card. And this card by itself says, is that energy of everyone thinks that to achieve their own dream, to achieve their own passions, they need to bring other people down. You know, that's what I hate about businesses, and especially like all these rich CEO people that own companies, you know, like to get there, to have that much money, you have to screw people over, you know. That is the only reason that they tell you that don't mix, you know, friendships with business. I think screw that. I would love to mix my friendships with my business, and I would like to work with my friends but business people know that they don't deal business with their friends because they know they had to screw them over at some point if they want to get rich and make billions. But no, business shouldn't be like that. The business shouldn't be that one person hogs so much money out of the profit of a singular company. No, it should never be that way. That's why I disagree with that statement of don't mix business with friendships. I say work with your friends. Make the business, something you enjoy. Make it something you love. Make it something that you're excited to go to every single day. Make it feel like you're hanging out with your homies, having a good time, and you're getting paid for it. Like, how cool is that? That's my dream. That's one thing I would want to do, is to have fun working with my friends and doing something we all love, and we're all having fun hanging out with each other while getting paid, to do something. Like, how cool would that be? And that's what I want. See, that's business. That's a good business. That's an actual family business right there. That's what I want. That's what I'm gonna create. But no, business right now with all this capitalism stuff and all of with the leaders that we have right now. No, it's all about them fighting each other, and there can only be so many at the top, and so you got to bring down everyone else. Like, no, come on. So the Queen of Cups is also here, right? So these guys putting themselves in situations and also embodying this and fighting, and doing all of this and having all of this quarreling and fighting. Well, they are not taking care of themselves. They are not taking care of their emotions. That is what the Queen of Cups is here to teach us about, is to teach us about protecting our emotions, right? Our emotions aren't just there just for decoration. They're not decorative. They're information that your body is telling you. Okay, so why are you ignoring your emotions? Why are you treating your emotions like a check engine light that pops on your car and you just ignore it? You're like, whatever, I'm gonna keep going. No. Your emotions are there for a reason. So if you're feeling a sort of type of way, there is always reasons for that. And although your emotions are information, they're information that tells you about your environment, about these people that are around you. Okay, that's what the emotions are for, right? It's a survival thing too, right? Our emotions are what connects us to everybody else, to other people, So, it's like a survival thing. I don't know, like if you're feeling bad emotions in a certain area, I would suggest going to a different area so that, your emotions can react differently to the environment and they can react in a more positive way. So you treat it like a science experiment, right? Let's see what emotions come up today. Let's see. It's almost like saying, if this was fire, let's see what happens if I put my finger on it. Oh, ouch, I felt pain. That hurts. You're supposed to feel pain, right? You're supposed to go away. You're supposed to go somewhere where there's no fire so you don't hurt yourself. Same with your emotions, same with your environment, same with your job, same with everything else in life, right? That's what the emotions are there for, to help. And we are going to take care of our emotions, and we are going to listen to them, and we are going to pay attention to them, and we are going to respond, and we will act in a way that is accordingly, with our emotions. And I don't want to feel this way, and your body doesn't either. Just like you don't want to feel pain, that's why your brain tells you to, let's not go there, right? Same with putting yourself into situations to where you keep feeling pain, right? Well, let's just not go there then, because I don't want to feel pain. So start taking care of your emotions. Cool. Moment to moment, we have the Two of Pentacles. This is treating so it's kind of the way we were saying, and this is interesting. This goes along with, you imagine the room being your whole universe, right? Compared to going outside, and then wow, your universe gets so much bigger now, right? And then, so now we followed that statement by saying, let's ignore the rest of this reading, right? And let's make our universe, let's make our reading just this card, just this Five of Wands, okay? So now we talk about that again in a different way, moment to moment. Two of Pentacles. Here, I think I'm going to read this. I'll read this first. But just like we were talking about, this is the third version of explaining that room being your whole universe type of deal. So, as this figure moves across the stones, he steps lightly and non-seriously, and at the same time absolutely balanced and alert. Behind the swirling, ever-changing waters, we can see the shapes of buildings. There's buildings back there. There appears to be a city in the background. The man is in the marketplace, but at the same time outside of it, maintaining his balance and able to watch it from above. This card challenges us to move away from our preoccupations with other spaces and other times and stay alert to what is happening in the here and now. Life is a great ocean in which you can play if you drop all your judgments, your preferences, and the attachment to the details of your long-term plans. Be available to what comes your way as it comes. And don't worry if you stumble or fall. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, have a good laugh, and carry on. So in the same way, right? There's him and the universe, right? His universe is just each step that he's taking. We zoomed in, and each moment to moment, each step that he's taking, right? He is focused, really focused on that. He is there. He is in that moment. And if you zoom out, right? If you make the universe bigger, we notice that he is in the marketplace. But we didn't really. It's not very as obvious, you know. So it's like being there and being in the moment, yeah. Participation, 4, and it's paired with the 4 of Wands. So we have Wands again. So we went from over here fighting, right? Everyone having to put people down so that they remain at the top. And now we are in the 4 of Wands with participation. That's 2 completely different energies. That's cool, huh? So we're fighting, taking care of our emotions, being in the moment, being happy in the moment. These people are not in the moment, or else they wouldn't be fighting. But now we are in the moment. Now we are collaborating with life. We are collaborating with our emotions, right? Because our emotions don't like being here in this card. We have seen the bigger picture, but so this is like saying we can see the big picture, right? We can see the marketplace, and imagine also, you know, being in that mini universe, in that little room, in each step, in each moment to moment, okay? But at the very, very beginning, we were only focused in our little moment to moment without realizing that there is a marketplace, okay? So now, embodying this nature card, this is just allowing you to learn both, right? Because we are just stuck on one. We are just stuck on our tiny little room universe, right? But it's good to see both. It's good to be moment to moment and be in the marketplace, right? Being in his own universe, but also being, you are part of the rest of the universe, right? You are a god, but you are amongst other gods as well. Participation, right? There are many. That's pretty cool. You participating with each moment is what this feels like. And instead of fighting it, because, I mean, when you fight the outside's going to fight back, right? But when we are collaborating with the outside collaborates with us as well. And that is one thing we learn when we step out into the real universe, into the bigger universe, right? This is saying, yes, we do all have our own little mini universe, but you are part of such a bigger universe. There are more things than what you think is important, than the stresses that you feel, that you think things should go a certain way. But there is a bigger universe. There is a step out. There is a silence. And participating and using both is essential to a good life. Change. The 2 of Pentacles again. Interesting. So notice how this is what I like about using these 3 decks is that, see, these are the same cards. One is the 2 of Rainbows, one is the 2 of Discs. One says moment to moment. We read about that one. One says change. And that's a different word, but they're still talking about the same energy, just kind of from a different viewpoint, right? They are both participating though, because the definition is basically the same, but one of them is seeing it from this way, one of them is seeing from that way, and they collaborate, and then, right, your universe and the bigger universe collaborate, right, and create something. This isn't a fight anymore. This is just a collaboration. 8 of Discs, and this took a long time, right? This is like teaching a baby to walk. This is like teaching a dog, training a dog. It's you training yourself how to participate and cooperate with life instead of fighting it. You're taking care of your emotions, instead of just fighting it. This is just like learning a new instrument, right? You're learning a new tool. So this might take time, but there is a change here, and there is a change within you, a change that's going to reflect outside very quickly. And yeah, I think this is pretty neat. So we'll get one more last card. Oh, okay. Yep. Look at that. A 2 pot. Did you see how that just spit out, basically? Number 2. Interesting. So before your next fight, okay, take a pause. This is really about the silence. This feels like a lot of noise. And then just like the relief that silence brings before the next, But this card says, something is hidden, so pause before making decisions. Keep an eye out as information is about to appear. Something is about to appear that's going to help. And it's going to, you will know it when it pops up, because it's going to be like a coincidence. It's going to make you feel excited. It's going to make you feel like life is pulling a prank on you. And it is. That's why a coincidence is to me, is life going, making a prank. But this is a good prank, and this is, this is a cool change that's happening here. This is you participating with the universe. You and the universe collabing together. Like, imagine how much fun that can get. Okay, so watch out, because the universe is about to give you some information, so be on the lookout for it. I hope this reading helped. If it did help, please help me as well by leaving a like, leaving a comment, and subscribing if you would like to keep hanging out, as this is a safe place where we try to figure life out together. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.